What's going on, Supers? Welcome back to another episode of Super Luke. In this episode, we're going to be doing our weekend wrap. Let's get into it. So, a bit of a weird weekend for the Pies. Obviously, the boys team, the men's team, they lose on Friday night to the Blues. And then our VFL team took on Carlton's VFL team the next day. And we got a little bit of revenge, if revenge is what you want to call it. We beat them. We beat them pretty well. We played so good. And like I said in my previous weekend wrap, we've got to start winning these games to get anywhere near that wild card and into the top 8. And we're doing ourselves a lot of favours, obviously, by winning. So that's 2 wins in a row now after, going down to Footscray in the fashion that we did go down to Footscray. But what I loved about this Collingwood Carlton game in the VFL, our boys absolutely stood up. And, some of these guys played their best games for the club. I think Will Kelly, he kicked 3 goals, 3 tackles, was marking everything. He's out of contract at the end of the year. So he is playing for not only a contract, but obviously a spot in the seniors. He's had a little bit of stints here and there. Bit of a versatile man, kind of like what Billy Frampton does. I still don't know if his best position is in the back line or if it is sort of like a higher half forward or just in the forward line, because he did kick those 3 goals. A little bit of a great alternative. He's a bit of a hard matchup with his height and with his athleticism. I know they tried him over the wing earlier on in the year, and I think a little bit into last year as well. So he's one to definitely watch out for. I dare say he maybe gets a 1-year contract extension. I don't see it being 2 years at this stage. Some other guys, Trent Bianco, 30 plus disposals. Josh Carmichael, the same. They both did really well in the midfield, really bulled that midfield without Finn McRae up there. Ash Johnson, God, this guy, 4 goals, 4 in just an outstanding, he could have kicked 8 goals. An absolute outstanding performance. He's so good overhead. He's so good below his knees as well. And he knows where the goals are. I said in my preview for the Collingwood Carlton game, the AFL game, that Ash Johnson was probably one of the guys that I wanted into the side. I just love everything that this guy brings. And it's such a shame, like Craig McRae came out and said, it sucks for Billy Frampton, it sucks for Ash Johnson because they haven't done anything wrong, but they're just cut from the team because we can't fit, like I said, 30 players into 23 spots. I dare say that after this, so he's kicked 4 goals, 4. I think he kicked 3 goals last week. He did kick a bunch last week. So let's just say minimum that's 7 goals in the last 2 games. He has to come in and he can play ruck, he can pinch hit in ruck. So I think he comes in for Mason Cox. Billy Frampton he was a defender, he did as well as he could. He's another one that could be, that could come into the AFL team. But I know you guys watch this for one man only at the moment, and that's Jack Ginnivan. Jack Ginnivan kicked a couple of goals, did a lot of nice things, a lot of tackles. Obviously, he's playing that, I wouldn't say higher half forward. They've really pushed him into the midfield. They've pushed him a lot up the ground because he just can't be that one-dimensional player anymore. We've got Bobby Elliott. We've got Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill doing his thing. We know that Bobby Hill didn't play on Friday. Could Ginnivan have made his way in instead of Will Hoskin-Elliott? I don't know. I've said this in my review as well. You can't replace I think I said it in my review, but you can't replace an exciting small forward with a role player, especially a role player on the bench. I would have loved for Ginnivan to come in, but now he's had maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 3 really good games at VFL level, and I think that he is definitely a starter for the Hawthorn game leading into Geelong, Brisbane and Essendon. We've got a big 4 weeks coming up, and I think Ginnivan is just doing the right amount of things, and he's added that bit of that flair and that tackling and the marking to his game. So he's not just that guy that's in the forward line that can snag a goal, that can, the ball comes over the top and he knows where the goals are. He's not just that guy anymore. He is now a tackling guy, a running guy. He's got a bit of midfield minutes into him. Not saying that he plays in the midfield when he comes into the team, but he has that tank now. And I think that it's Ash Johnson and Jack Ginnivan. They make their way and they move into the AFL team. Maybe give Bobby Hill one more week. I know someone said he was, I don't know if it was true or not, a bit of an ankle complaint. He was sick. And we know that the guys that are sick, they usually come up again. Like Josh Dacos and I think it was Brady Maynard, they were sick during the week and during the go the other week, and they come and they play. So he must have a pretty bad flu or something. For Bobby Hill must have a pretty bad flu to kind of keep him out of the side. So maybe just give him one more week's rest, and then Jack Ginnivan. Let's see what he can do. If this is just give him one more shot against Hawthorn, and then we can see if he's going to be that sort of finals wildcard player that we know that he can be. He's done this. He did this last year. He kicked 40 or something goals last year. We know that he can be that guy. So hopefully he gets a chance during the Hawthorn game, and hopefully we see Ash Johnson or Billy Frampton in that Hawthorn game as well. Again, all of these games for the VFL are a must-win, especially this week down at Avalon. So fingers crossed we get the W there. But hopefully the W comes without Ginnivan and without Ash Johnson / Billy Frampton, whoever comes into the team. Now, on a more sour, negative, sad, heartbreaking note is our VFLW girls lost their grand final yesterday. I went to that game, with the Collingwood Pride group. A few of our friends are there and stuff, and we were behind the goals cheering and stuff like that. And we kicked the first goal, and I thought, here we go, we're on. We're going to see the bloody Collingwood grand final. And then Port Melbourne just, credit to them, they just absolutely just came out and their pressure was insane. They were hitting targets left and right and centre, and they were first at the contest at all times. And then in the third quarter, we kind of pegged it back a little bit. We were getting the inside 50s, we were getting more of the ball. And then in the last quarter, they just ran over the top of us where there's some questionable umpiring decisions. Yes, of course, there's always questionable umpiring decisions in any Collingwood grand final. I'm still bitter. But yeah, look, the girls lost, and it was just devastating. Like, any Collingwood side that just makes a grand final and loses is just, yeah, it's really sad. And the girls had such a good season. They finished on top of the ladder. I know they finished on top of the ladder. They played at Port Melbourne, which is a little bit dumb. It was so windy. The conditions were horrible, but Port Melbourne have played there all year, so they know how to play there, I guess, to that bloody wind. But yeah, the girls lost, and yeah, very, very sad and very heartbreaking for them to lose in that fashion. We ended up losing by 2 goals. They just marked one right on the siren pretty much and kicked it through. So it was really one goal. We were right in it. That was the thing. We were right in it. We just couldn't convert and just couldn't take our chances, which says a lot because that's what the Collingwood team did on Friday night as well. Look, this has just been a quick weekend wrap. It's going to be an exciting week for Collingwood, especially going into the Hawthorn game, seeing the selection, seeing training. It's going to be pretty exciting. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, stay family, stay friends, stay pets, and until next time, double shaggers, I'll see you later.